Hi, my name's Nina. I'm just a Swiftie with an English degree, and today we're going to talk about Fortnight. I've been wanting to break down the Tortured Poets department and go song by song for a while now. I just love looking at lyrics, looking at the lore of it all, and deciphering and decoding all of the little Easter eggs that she leaves us within the lyrics and within the music itself. So we're going to talk about it. Let's start with Fortnight, and I hope you join me. And with Fortnight, we have a lot to say, so let's get into it. I'm just going to play the songs and we're going to go through them line by line. I'm going to stop and make comments as we go along, but I am going to be using the music video and other media that we have for Fortnight to be discussing, and of course interviews with Taylor and all of that good stuff. We have to talk about the lore. I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me. And it's only the second line and we already have things to talk about. But this first line here, I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me. That is a direct follow-up to the last line of Hits Different, which was the last song that was released with the Midnights. I believe it was like, it wasn't the 3 a.m. edition. I forget, the Dawn edition or something. It's a direct follow-up to Hits Different, which ends with, is that your key in the door? Is it okay? Is it you? Or have they come to take me away? To take me away.
Is it you? Or have they come to take me away?
And then Fortnight starts with, I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me.
Was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my new aesthetic.
I was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my new aesthetic. That is the next 2 lines. With this specifically here, obviously alcoholism isn't an aesthetic. I think that she is pointing out that there was a problem that wasn't recognized. She is essentially saying that I was a functioning alcoholic. I don't think that she's actually saying that she was functioning. I think that she was saying that she was not functioning and nobody noticed, and she was hoping that somebody would notice, but they didn't. If we're going to delve into the whole insane asylum of it all with the Tortured Poets department, I have to bring up the In Summation poem that's in the vinyl edition of the Tortured Poets department, because she talks about it more freely in this, and we see in the Fortnight music video, obviously, she starts out in an insane asylum. She starts off chained to a bed. This explains probably a little more of that, but in the summation poem, Taylor Swift states, you see the pendulum swings. Oh, the chaos it brings leads the caged beast to do the most curious things. And earlier in the poem, she also says that she is pleading for temporary insanity. And she also refers to this time in her life, this transitional period that she was going through, as a mutual manic phase. So take from that what you will. The mental health and asylum references are abundant in this music video and in this, the rhetoric and the media surrounding everything with this. Saying that she was locked into a cage, as we see in other, later parts of this album, that she was locked in a cage. It led her to essentially go through a insane period where she was manic in a way, and she made some bad choices. And I think that Fortnight shows the back and forth of this, going back and forth between what you feel like is your fate and who you are meant to be and who you are meant to be with, and what is actually your reality and what is the best thing for you. And I think that that's essentially what Fortnight is. She is living her real life, but she is seeing the person that she loves in the office, wherever she is, and she is constantly being reminded that she loves that person and it's literally ruining her life. I think with Fortnight, this song, she is really focusing on, I love you and it's ruining my life. This person had a intense relationship with this other person, and they see them in their everyday life. They see them, they both are living independent lives away from each other, but they live in each other's circle, and it's literally ruining the life that she has with her other partner. Why would Taylor be talking about this? And that's where we get into the lore of it all, because in Fortnight, I'm assuming, obviously know that we are reading tea leaves here, we are reading lyrics, I am deciphering based off of what is publicly available and based off of the lyrics in front of me, but it appears, if we are going to read the tea leaves of it all, that this song is about a time period where Taylor was in between her relationship with Joe. She felt trapped. She felt as if another person who was potentially her soulmate, her twin, if you will, as she states in another song, might be better for her, and she is seeing them and she is living around them, and it is literally ruining her life. Time period that I would point to this whole situation going on, it would be during the making of Midnights, because we know at that time period Taylor did work with the 1975 and Jack Antonoff, who was also working with the 1975 on their record.
Also gave it to Taylor Swift early. She got an early listen.
She heard bits of it through Jack. Yeah.
Did she return the favor with her latest release and let you listen to it before the general public?
Yeah. We actually worked a bit on that, but then...
And I believe that they were working amongst each other because they were both working with Jack Antonoff, and I believe that this is kind of where these vibes are coming from. But again, we're reading tea leaves. I'm just looking at the lyrics and seeing what's publicly available and putting pieces together. It also throws me back to another line in Midnights, remember, when she says, "You don't live in my part of town, but maybe I'll see you out some weekend," which I also think was referring to Matt Healy. I just think that Matt Healy is all over this record. I think it is a common consensus now that we can openly talk about the fact that most likely she is referring to Matt Healy here, where she is dealing with this go-between and feeling a sense of fatalism and a sense of fate for being with that other person. And she talks about this sense of fatalism in the description of how she describes the Tortured Poets Department. And we see that all over this record, the idea that you are fated to be with someone, that someone is your twin, that someone is who you have a birthright to be with. We see that all over this record, so pay attention to it. As Taylor Swift told Amazon Music about Fortnight, she said, "Fortnight is a song that exhibits a lot of the common themes that run throughout this album," she began, one of which being fatalism, longing, pining away, lost dream. "I think that it's a very fatalistic album in that there are lots of very dramatic lines about life or death. I love you. It's ruining my life. These are very hyperbolic, dramatic things to say. It's that kind of album." Taylor said this specifically about this album, so I think that this is the lens that we need to look at this entire album through. And then in this next part of the stanza, we see that she is having a relationship with the person who she loves, and she is seeing them. And on the one hand, you're probably happy to even be able to see them if you do love this person. But she says, "All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason. And no one here's to blame, but what about your quiet treason?"
No one here's to blame, but what about your quiet treason?
So what does she mean by your quiet treason? I almost feel like this first stanza is talking about Joe. She's saying that she was a functioning alcoholic till nobody noticed my new aesthetic, who, and I would believe that it would be Joe who wouldn't notice if she was having a problem. And then she says, "All this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason. No one here's to blame, but what about your quiet treason?" And what was Joe during the majority of their time together? I mean, I think that we only have something like 5 pictures of these two people together throughout the entire 6 or 7 year relationship. We don't even have a conversation of them, like a video of them speaking to each other. It's very strange. So if there is anybody who was giving quiet treason to Taylor during this time, or who was being quiet, or who wasn't being publicly available for her, I would say that it was Joe. Chorus, she's reflecting on a time that was before she was in this relationship. She says, "And for a fortnight there, we were forever. I run into you sometimes, ask about the weather. Now you're in my backyard, turned into good neighbors. Your wife waters flowers. I want to kill her." This is just insane to me. I just have so much to talk about. But, "And for a fortnight there, we were together. Run into you sometimes, ask about the weather." That specifically to me is just such a depressing 2 lines, because you're rhyming weather with forever, because you know that that person was supposed to be your forever, and now that you have nothing to talk about because they're not in your life anymore, so you're just talking to them about the weather, which is so incredibly sad. But it also gives me a flashback to New Year's Day, where she says, "Please don't ever become a stranger whose laugh I would recognize anywhere." So now she's talking to him about the weather, and he is a stranger whose laugh she would recognize anywhere, and I just want to cry. "Now you're in my backyard, turned into good neighbors. Your wife waters flowers. I want to kill her." I just want you guys to realize that "your wife waters flowers, I want to kill her" is the adult version of "you belong with me," okay? "Your wife waters flowers, I want to kill her" is just she's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers, okay? I don't make the rules.
He's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers.
This is just the now 34-year-old Taylor who is bringing that back. I don't think that she's really saying that she wants to kill his wife in this scenario. I think that she is just saying that this person has her dream and she is inwardly dying, okay? And we see that with the music video as well, where she is literally like, see her memories swirl and catch a fire. We see the tortured poet that is literally going through this situation in the music video, and I think that that is what she's talking about. She is just wanting to get herself out of this life that she doesn't feel like she was meant to be living. Look at these songs, and when we look at Fortnight, just keep in mind that this is supposed to be dramatic. Just keep that in mind. She also went on to say in this same commentary about it that she always imagined that Fortnight occurred in an American town where the American dream you thought would happen to you didn't. And I think that this is the crux of this song and this music video and everything about Fortnight, is that she thought that fate had this in store for her. She thought that this was her birthright, that this is what she was meant to have. And that is what was so tragic about it, is because she thought that the pieces had fallen into place, that everything had made itself perfect for her, and that for once in her life, everything made sense. She even told us on the Eras tour that for once in her life, she felt like everything made sense.
Like, my life finally feels like it makes sense. And, so I thought I'd play this song, which brings me really a lot of happy memories. Good girl, sad boy.
But it didn't, and it was also a lie, because he would ghost her. She just didn't know it yet. Heading into verse 2, she says, all my mornings are Mondays stuck in an endless February. I took the miracle move on drug. The effects were temporary. So we look at these lines, of course. Monday mornings are the worst. Mondays in general are the worst. But what is February? February is the time period between winter, when winter is just dragging on, before spring arrives. So she is in an endless February. She is in winter. She is stuck there, and she is just waiting for spring to arrive and waiting for herself to feel better. She took the miracle move on drug. The effects were temporary. She attempted to get over the relationship that had affected her so much. She had attempted to move on, attempted to have a life, attempted to be okay with the lesser, and she just couldn't do it. And she states, I love you. It's ruining my life. I love you. It's ruining my life. I touched you for only a fortnight. I touched you, but I touched you. I think here she is obviously saying that the love and emotions that she has for this other person is ruining her life, because objectively her life should be perfect. She should be happy in her relationship. She should be happy living in this picket fence, perfect American little town that she always envisioned, but she's not, because she feels like what she was meant for is right here and somebody else has it and she can't have it, and she's upset about it. She says, I touched you for only a fortnight. So this was a blip. This was a fortnight, I think technically is 14 days. I don't know if she literally is meaning that this was a 2-week relationship originally or what, but she says, I touched you for only a fortnight, just a blip on the radar. I touched you, but I touched you. And if you notice in the music video, when in the after times here, Post Malone doesn't seem to ever actually touch her until this moment when he finally does. But in the before times, he is touching her. He's touching her face. He's touching everything. She's forever changed. You know, she's got his markings on her face and she is forever changed in the mirror here. We're back to, and for a fortnight there, we were forever. Run into you sometimes, ask about the weather. Now you're in my backyard, turned into good neighbors. Your wife waters flowers. I want to kill her. This is where the chorus actually changes though. She adds on, run into you sometimes, comment on my sweater. Now you're at the mailbox, turned into good neighbors. My husband is cheating. I want to kill him.
Into good neighbors, my husband is cheating. I want to kill him.
Not only in this song are we wanting to kill the other wife, but we're also wanting to kill her husband. Obviously, I don't think that she actually means that. And I also don't know that we should say that her husband is cheating necessarily means that it was like a physical cheating. I mean, there's multiple things that someone can do. But obviously, the person who she is supposed to be with is emotionally, physically, something not giving her what she's needing. He may be physically cheating on her, or he may be just stringing her along. We don't really know. And also, just if we talk about how this album, she told us, is a dramatic view of love, right? We're supposed to be dramatic with this when our viewpoints. When she is saying that now you're at the mailbox, turned into good neighbors. Now you're in my backyard. Like, this person is in your life doing mundane things, but for the writer here, for Taylor, for whoever, you know, this is representing, these mundane things, getting the mail, being in your backyard, like, you're not okay because you are constantly being faced with the reality. You are remembering that this person that you love is there and you can never actually get away from it. And I think that that's why when we see her in the music video and she is wiping it off of her face, the mark that this person has placed on her is more than just emotional, it's physical. Like, she has been physically changed, and she also in her physical life cannot get away from this person because they're in her circle and it never lets her go. Watch us throughout the song. This constant theme is running through it. I love you, it's ruining my life. I touched you for only a fortnight. I touched you. I touched you. And I feel like she is almost begging in the song. I mean, you can hear it, to be told that she did influence them and affect them in the same way. She is hiding the physical show, the physical signs of this relationship and what it has done to her. And she is saying, but I touched you, I touch you, I touch you. And for me, I think that this is in a way of saying and begging to be reaffirmed that they were affected in the same way that she was. In our outro, we have thought of calling ya, but you won't pick up. Another fortnight lost in America. Move to Florida, buy the car you want, but it won't start up till I touch you. Notice here that we were saying, I touched you. I touched you. I love you. Now, in this outro, we have gone back and we are now saying, till you touch me, until you touch me, until I touch you, which is present tense. And I think that it's very interesting here. A lot of people are like, why Florida? But I think that Florida, just in a weird way, is kind of where people like go to retire. It's kind of like where I know that a lot of true crime cases that I follow come out of Florida because the availability of information is very free there. So I feel like we hear about a lot of crazy things just happening in Florida. So you can go to Florida, you can attempt to retire, you can attempt to live the life that you dream of, but your car's not going to start until I touch you, is essentially what she's saying, which is very interesting. So what do you think about this song? Do you think that it is primarily about Joe? Do you think it's primarily about Matt Healy? What do you see when you decipher this? I'm very interested and I would love to know. Other things about Fortnight in general, and specifically the music video, that I wanted to point out. Love the fact that I love and was absolutely obsessed with the fact that the Dead Poets Society was given representation, with Ethan Hawke and everything being there in the actual video. I absolutely loved that. The Dead Poets Society was so special to me when I was a teenager, and even to now, that I just loved the fact that she paid attention to that and put that little detail in there. My favorite imagery from the music video is absolutely 1,000,000% when the pages are spinning, because we see the original pages spinning when they're spinning together and they're in the cyclone together, and then we see the pages burning and it's just Taylor in the cyclone. And in a later song, I believe it's in Tortured Poets Department, she says, I chose this cyclone with you. And this imagery of just being surrounded by pages that theoretically say, I love you, it's ruining my life, because that's what she was typing, is just, mwah, I loved it. And I loved that visual, especially for representing the song and just having mundane things be dramatic. You'll notice throughout the music video, at some points in time, Post Malone has a ring on, some other points in time Post Malone doesn't have a ring on. I don't know if she's playing with a time period here. I would assume that the time period where she actually has her face covered when she's in the insane asylum, and when he has tattoos, is a later time period than the time period where they're younger together, assumedly. I found that extremely interesting throughout the music video, is that play with time, because even now I'm not exactly sure what the chronological time order for the music video actually even is. image in the music video that I cannot get out of my head, that I'm not actually even sure really what it means, is the telephone box image. Please tell me, what do you guys think that this is? Is this the man finally reaching out to her and accepting her call? Like, what do you think that this is, and where does this fit in the time period? So if anyone has any ideas, please let me know. I would love to talk about it, and please let me know if there's any other video ideas or anything that you would like me to discuss. I am going to be going through everything on the Tortured Poets department. I'm going to do a video for every single song because I just love the lore. I love looking at the lyrics, and I just love talking about Taylor Swift, and I'd love to find more people to talk to about it. So if you have anything to add, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to discuss everything with you. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.